All right, concert band, rhythm worksheet 2. We're working with 3/4 time signature, 3 beats, quarter note gets the beat. Now triplets, these are a little bit different, bare altogether. So here's our pulse, here's our 1, 2, 3, triplet, triplet, triplet. That's how they sound. Triplet, triplet, triplet. So let's look at number 1, the first measure. Underneath, you see that there are 3 eighth notes, and they have a 3 on top of it. That means that they fit into the counting chart just like that. We would say triplet, triplet. And then B2 happens there. Triplet. Okay? And the very next note is a quarter note. Now where does it go on here? It goes right on the tri part. Right on the tri. A couple of things that we'll want to clarify here is quarter notes in a triplet. A quarter note by itself, just a quarter note, gets 3 eighth note triplets. That's weird because we're used to quarter notes equaling 2 eighth notes. But if you have eighth note triplets, a quarter note equals one of those. That's synonymous. Okay? Now, let's finish up the first measure here. Since it equals a triplet, the next one falls here on the trip. That's measure 1. Let's look at measure 2 because it is significantly more complicated. Measure number 2. Now, you see that quarter note? And then it has an eighth note. Now, what did I just say? A quarter note equals 3 eighth note triplets. Now, I'm already going to break that rule. This is a quarter note. But is it just a quarter note? No, it's a quarter note inside a triplet bracket. Since it's inside a triplet bracket, what we have is totally different. This now equals 2 eighth note triplets. And that is 1 eighth note triplet because it's just 1 eighth note. Okay, so that's synonymous to 2 eighth note triplets when it's inside the bracket. So let's plug it in here. Quarter note here, we know that it's going to be in the bracket. So we know it's going to be in the bracket, so it's 2 eighth notes. And then the third one goes right on the et part. Now it's really important that you put the triplet sign, the 3, above it. The 3 is the triplet sign. Okay, now can it be on the bottom? You can put the triplet thing on the bottom. It's the same thing. It doesn't change the value. Okay, that's that. Now, the next one is an eighth rest. Okay, it looks like a little 7, and then it's followed by a quarter note. But what is it? It's in the triplet bracket. So quarter notes in the triplet bracket are worth 2. Quarter notes outside of the triplet bracket are worth 3 eighth note triplets. Okay, so let's plug this in. It's an eighth rest that goes right on the tri because this is 1 eighth note, covers up that, next one comes to the tri here. So we got to do our eighth rest. Since it's in the triplet bracket, that covers 1 eighth note triplet because this is an eighth rest, eighth note. Okay, so this is silence, this is sound. So then the next note comes on the pull. Doesn't matter what the note is, it comes on pull, or the rest. It always goes on pull because the eighth rest only covers up 1. So whatever comes next happens on the pull. Okay, it's the quarter note. Now it is in a triplet bracket, isn't it? You can put the triplet bracket below or above, it doesn't matter. Since it's in a triplet bracket, it's worth how many? 2 or 3? It's worth 2 now because it's in the triplet bracket. So the quarter note is worth 2 triplet eighth notes. So it covers up the pull and tet. The pull, et. It covers both those up. The next note or rest comes on the tri. And we know that that's a quarter note. But that quarter note is not in a triplet bracket, is it? So since it is not in a triplet bracket, it's worth 3 triplet eighth notes. So it covers up tri, pull, let. And that's measure 2. Let's do one more. Number 2 is probably easier than number 3. So let's look at measure 1 of number 3. So measure 1. So you see the triplet bracket on top of the first 2 notes. That means that quarter note is worth 2. So it starts on the trip. It's worth trip, pull. And then the third one, the et, gets the 8th note. This is worth 2 because it's in the triplet bracket. Trip, pull, 8th note, et. It's only worth 1 because it's an 8th note. It's only worth, it's equal. 8th note triplet, 8th note triplet. So it's worth 1. Next note or S comes on the trip. It's a quarter note, but it has the bracket. So it's worth 2. So it's worth trip, pull, and then the 8th note gets the et again. And then the last one there is a little weird. It has a bracket, so I'm going to write the bracket. It's an 8th note and an 8th note. So where does the second 8th note go? Does it go on the pull or the et? It goes on the pull because this is an 8th note. Since that's an 8th note, it only covers up the trip. The pull is where the next thing happens. The next thing written is another 8th note. So the 8th note covers up the pull. The et is what gets the 8th rest. So let's, I'm going to say this rhythm. Trip, let, trip, bet, triple. Trip, bet, trip, bet, triple. Trip, bet, trip, bet, triple. That's how that sounds. Okay? Keep finishing up this as I'm speaking. Now let's do one rhythm so that you know how it sounds, because we didn't do it. So this is back to measure number 1. Okay, so this is triple let trip trip. If that's our beat. Triple let trip trip. Triple let trip trip. That's how that sounds. Okay, now we're going to go over to the back. Turn it over to the back here. Look at number 1. We just practiced letter A, didn't we? Let's practice letter B of number 1. I'll write that in. It starts like this. Then it has that. Okay, so we've got triple let trip et trip. Triple let trip et trip. So that's how that sounds. Let's do one more. How about number 2, letter C. Look at number 2, letter C. This is probably the goofiest one that you're going to see. Now remember, my 3 with the bracket can go on the top or the bottom. Okay. So think about it's trip, et, pull, trip. Ready and go. Trip, et, pull, trip. Trip, et, pull, trip. Trip, et, pull, trip. It's kind of a weird feeling one. All right. Press pause if you still need some time to finish up writing on the first page, because we're going to go into the listening on the back. Okay, here's the listening for concert band rhythm worksheet 2. You'll hear each example 3 times. I'll be giving you the quarter note, and then I'll count you off, and I'll clap the rhythm. Here's our pulse. Ready? Number 1. 1, ready, go. 1, ready, go. 1, ready, go. One more time, number 1. 1, ready, go. Circle your answer for number 1. Here's number 2. 1, ready, go. 1, ready, go. 1, ready, go. Circle your answer for number 2. Here's number 3. 1, ready, go. 1, ready, go. 1, ready, go. Circle your answer for number 3. Here's number 4. 1, ready, go. 1, ready, go. 1, ready, go. Circle your answer for number 4. Go ahead and make sure your name's on it, and you are done. Thank you.